وفتحت أبوابها وقال لهم خزنتها سلام عليكم طبتم فادخلوها خالدين. وقالوا الحمد لله الذي صدقنا وعده وأورثنا الأرض نتبوأ من الجنة حيث نشاء فنعم أجر العاملين. وترى الملائكة حافين من حول العرش يسبحون بحمد ربهم وقضي بينهم بالحق وقيل الحمد لله رب العالمين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي على أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام. قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيت بالكساء اليماني فغطيت به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبلا وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جدا يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت عليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جدا السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ وقال له عليك السلام يا أخي يا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ وقال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم دمي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك على وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا ولا أرضا مدحيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء ومن الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محمل من محافل أهل الأرض وفي جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذن والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا من محافل أهل الأرض وفي جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي إذن والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. صلى على محمد وآله.
So much, Maulana Sayyid Jawad Wahidi, our beloved resident alim, for that beautiful recitation of the Holy Quran and Hadith Qissa. Please, for him, recite another loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For all those who are tuning in now and have walked into the building, thank you all for attending tonight's program. We would like to continue tonight's program with our active shooter emergency workshop. So for all those that are sitting outside or currently eating, please join us and do not miss out on the opportunity for this invaluable advice to enhance our community and safety procedures and preparedness led by an experienced professional. We would like to go over in this workshop how to respond effectively in the event of an active shooter situation, recognize the warning signs, develop an emergency action plan, implement an effective strategy for survival. And for this, we would like to welcome our guest speaker, Brother Rehan Bakri, to present the Active Shooter program or workshop towards the podium. And please welcome him with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And MOMIN, while Brother Rehan is coming up to the podium, we will also be having a small Q&A part of this workshop towards the end of the workshop. So if you have any questions, feel free to hold on to them, and we will have a small Q&A after Brother Rehan presents. Thank you.
Hello. Everyone can hear me? Assalamu alaikum ji. My name is Rehan Bakri, and thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to basically come and have a conversation around sensitive topic around active shooter. I'm sure everyone in some capacity have been listening about this kind of topic for a while. It's a unpleasant, stressful topic, but yet again, not forgettable, not ignorable actually. So before we go into the presentation, I have a clip that we have been able to acquire from the police departments basically to show with you, and then we'll present with the topic for the discussion. Thank you.
What's going to be the solution by the time we...
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Actually think he's got an old, well, he's got a truck. I don't know if your daughter will be interested.
There's a gunman inside the store. He's shooting the place up. We need help now.
Issues that we found. Okay, Emily, see what that is. See what's going on. Just let us know what you find out.
There's a man with a gun. He's right there.
What's the wall? Lights. Lock it.
There you go. You're safe for that.
There's a guy with a gun. He's shooting. Look.
James, we don't have to.
No, look.
Run! 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 To the right! To the right! To the loading dock! Come on, this way! This way! This way!
Oh, no, come here.
Yeah, in here! In here! The gunman's coming.
What are we going to do?
We're going to have to defend ourselves.
I have a I can't do this.
You're going to see your daughter tonight, okay? We are all going to go home tonight, all right? We have a right to defend ourselves. Get the gun! Get the gun! Hey! Hold him down, hold him down!
Gosh, I'm just so glad you're okay.
Yes, we're all going to go home. Everybody's going home. Yeah.
If you ever have the misfortune to be in an active shooter event, you deserve to survive. In our research, we have found that the actions that potential victims take during these events are critical to their survival. We have identified 3 options that have proven effective in many events. These are: avoid the attacker, deny the attacker access to your area, defend yourself. It is a personal decision, but you have a right to do so. Avoiding the attacker starts with being aware of your surroundings at all times and knowing what is going on around you. If you see or hear something that looks suspicious, take action. For example, the stalker took immediate and effective action to protect himself when he observed the shooter pulling out weapons from the bag. Others, however, hesitated, and this hesitation can cost them valuable time that they could have used to get away from the threat. If you hear something that is, or could be, gunfire, start trying to get away from it as soon as possible. Gunfire has a distinctive sound. Inside of buildings, the sound can be muffled or distorted. A single loud bang could be a person dropping something, or even thunder. But repeated loud bangs are much more likely to be gunfire. Additionally, look at the reaction of others. Are they startled or scared? Are they running? What are they saying? Any one of these events individually may create denial, but when put together should create a heightened awareness and stimulate an immediate response. It is important that you know how to get out. The situation will be chaotic and rapidly changing. In general, you will want to go to the nearest exit. But you must also understand that the closest exit may not be accessible or safe to use. If this is the case, go to a different exit. While avoiding the threat, consider the uses of cover and concealment. Cover offers protection from gunfire, while concealment minimizes your exposure to the attacker. Try to keep objects between you and the attacker. If you can't avoid the attacker, sometimes the best option will be to deny the attacker access to your location. In many locations, this can be accomplished by closing and locking a door, such as they did in the meeting room. Locking the door has proven effective in many attacks. If the door does not have a lock, you can place heavy objects in front of it. Remember, barricades work best if the door opens toward you. If it doesn't, use things that are readily available, such as straps, belts, or objects that can be used to block or secure the door to make it difficult for the attacker to enter the room. This may at least slow the attacker down and give you time to identify alternate means of escape, such as adjoining rooms or windows. When attempting to deny access to your location, you want to make it appear that there is no one in your area. Lock doors, turn off the lights, silence your phones, and get out of sight. Your attempt to deny the attacker access to your location might fail.
The gunman's coming.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna have to defend ourselves.
Have a backup plan about what you will do. In many cases, this may be to defend yourself. You need to be in a place where you can act if the attacker comes into your location. In most rooms, you will line up against the same wall that the door is on, near the door so you can react, but not directly in front of it. If you are unable to avoid or deny, your best option may be to defend yourself by using whatever is available. In a situation where someone is attempting to kill you, you have the legal right to defend yourself. Attack weak spots such as eyes, throat, and groin. Fight to the best of your ability and do not quit until the attacker is stopped. This is what the workers in the warehouse did when they were unable to avoid the attacker and felt their lives were in immediate danger. Whatever option you choose, call 911 as soon as you are in a safe location. Provide any information that you know. The operator will ask you a lot of questions. If you don't know the answer, don't guess. Just say you don't know and only state the facts.
I'm not sure. There's 3 of us in the room. We're on the...
There's a guy with a gun. He's shooting.
This will be a complex situation, and we can't tell you what you should do in every case. What we can do is provide you with information about the options that we have found to be most effective for surviving these attacks. The ultimate choice is yours. What you do matters. Avoid the attacker. Deny access to your location. Defend yourself. Law enforcement will be entering a chaotic scene with limited information. Their first priority will be to stop the threat to your safety. The police may not know where or who the threat is. Listen and comply with their commands immediately.
Put it down, sir. Put it down. Both of you on the ground.
Police are trained to look at people's hands to assess threats. Do not have anything in your hands that could be perceived as a weapon, such as a cell phone.
Show me your hands, sir. Show me your hands. Move to us. Everybody, keep your hands up, please. Walk out the door.
If told to do so, stay where you are and do not make sudden movements. Again, follow all commands. Remember, what you do matters. Avoid the attacker. Deny access to your location. Defend yourself. Remember, ADD. You can survive.
Yeah. So
You're about to watch an educational video about a disturbing subject, how you should respond in an active shooter situation. An active shooter is an individual shooting at people, usually at random, in a populated area. The likelihood you will ever encounter this type of situation is extremely remote. In fact,
So while the presentation comes up, I just want to share some statistics from the FBI directly. 70% of the active shooter incidents that takes place today, they are literally 5 minutes or less. I repeat, they are 5 minutes or less. Does anyone in the room know what is the national average response time of a police department showing up when you call 911? Does anyone know for sure that what is our average national time for police response? Any guesses? Sorry? 22 minutes? Anyone else? 11 minutes? Anyone else? Anyone else? So 11 minutes is the closest. So the national average time for police to show up at your premise, whether it's a business premise or a religious premise or a house premise, is 12.5 minutes, basically. So for 12.5 minutes, if I do my calculation, I can shoot around like 500 rounds of ammunition. It could be a high caliber weapon, basically, but I just want to make sure that you guys kind of keep that in mind as we go through this. So the video refers basically to, first of all, understand what your threat is. As we are in a big facility, knowing your surrounding is very crucial. Every facility of this square footage has a different dynamic around it. Please monitor your surroundings carefully. If there is a residential area, if there is any commercial areas, where could be the possible access point for someone to walk into your premise. So if I define a profile, I'm pretty much sure that everyone kind of checks the social media and the news very carefully. What is a profile of an active shooter widely known across US, basically? It would be a white male, generally between 25 to 35 years of age. He will be very properly geared. In the past 5 years, active shooters now come very much prepared. Don't expect anyone to just randomly crossing the road and he sees people in black clothes and say, oh, there is Allah written over here, let's go and shoot some people. That will never happen. Everyone now does their homework before they come and plan to do something. So if you are trying to understand what is the profile of those people, that's what the profile looks like. The other thing I would like to mention, that a threat can be from outside, but it can be from the inside as well. Just keep this in mind, that it's not always that you're looking outside, but you're also looking from the inside perspective as well. So as the presentation or the video actually explained that, how to avoid it, right? Avoid as much as possible. You see bangs, this is a large premise, this is a large footing area, try to run away. This is where one thing that plays a very vital role, which has been emphasized for the last 10 plus years now, whether it's a religious premise or a commercial premise or a school premise, is an evacuation plan. If an active shooter comes in right now at this and I can see him and you guys see him, where will you exit? Does everyone in the room know where they will exit? So that's one, right? So what about the other exits? So it's very important to have an evacuation plan, and the executive committee members, apart from executive committee members, everyone has to know the evacuation plan. So practice, 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 basically. We are talking about active shooter, but what about a fire situation? A fire, these are wooden structures, they can catch fire very quickly, they can spread very quickly. So evacuation plan combined with your active shooter training plays a very vital role in this situation. I'll go through some of this and we can go into the question answers. Deny. So knowing your premise, knowing the locations where you can actually hide yourself is very vital. I strongly recommend all the sisters and who are very much taking care of the children to know about their surroundings as well and try to hide themselves as much as possible if required. This is again where your evacuation plan, repetition of your evacuation plan plays a very vital role in this situation. So, different techniques that they explain in terms of, I'll leave this presentation with you guys for, to look at it, but, I strongly recommend the executive committee to actually practice all this as well whenever possible. Defend. So we are in a state of Texas. I call it as the guns capital of US, right? I can easily smell a couple of guns in this room as well, but it's okay, but it's Texas. So everyone is constitutionally allowed to carry a weapon in the state of Texas. So if I have a valid driving license of Texas, I can walk into any firearm shop and I can buy a gun. This is your constitutional right in the state of Texas to have a weapon, basically. However, When it comes to religious premises, when it comes to churches, temples, synagogues, and other places, they have their own way of dealing with this situation, that who should carry inside and who should not carry inside. We have great examples of some Sunnat masjids. If you guys have been to Epic Mosque, I would highly recommend if you guys can go and see Epic Mosque, basically how they basically train their people who are inside and outside accordingly, but you can basically carry a weapon inside the premise as well. Again, try to defend yourself. I strongly recommend that understanding the nearby things that you can use for your defense is very critical. We usually have a floor arrangement in our masajids, so there is not many things around us that we can easily pick and do something about it. So it's always good to have your guard up when you are in that situation, and you can, expect someone to come in and do that. When police arrive, so we have been. I live in McKinney. I've been living in McKinney for the last 9 years now. I work very closely with the chief of police of McKinney, and I do a lot of awareness campaigns around the McKinney Mosque, which are Ahl Sunnat Mosque. Knowing that what police will expect when they show up, the training that police gets in state of Texas is very different in any other state. The police, when they show up, they already expect that they're gonna see guns with other people besides the active shooter. So it's very important to understand that what police expects when they come, and they actually talk about in the video as well, that make sure that your hands are empty. You're not trying to hold something. You may in your subconscious maybe holding something, but follow the commands. That's exactly what this training kind of talks about basically. It's always best for religious premises to have a local police contact, so they can act. So when they can arrive in your premise, they are not coming for the first time. So one of the suggestions for masajids is that have a relationship with your local police department, invite them over, have them walk through the premise, tell them about your highly crowded events, so they already know. So most of the time when you inform the police in advance, they actually inform the dispatchers in the 911 command center that anything that is going to be coming, God forbid, from this specific location is going to be something that is going to be prioritized, because it's a mass gathering over here, basically. So that's one thing to kind of look for. Again, evacuation, I think, as much as possible, one could say, don't panic. It's bound to happen. People will panic. You don't have active shooter situation on, from Shukr Alhamdulillah, you don't have active situation, on a regular basis. So you never train for this. But the first thing is to do these kind of drills. What I can share with you, a lot of churches, a lot of synagogues, a lot of temples, they have regular active shooter simulations. So what they do is they actually rearrange their churches and synagogue and mandirs arrangements, sitting arrangements into active shooter, and they actually practice it, rehearse it inside, essentially. So that's one thing to look for. We talked about evacuation, but last thing, again, I would definitely heavily emphasize on evacuation. Understanding the active shooter situation is one thing, but how to apply the avoid, deny, defend is solely dependent upon the evacuation plan. You have to understand what the evacuation plan is and proceed accordingly. So that's the end of the presentation, but I would like to share that so I'm accompanied here by one of my fellow brothers over here, Zishan here. I have been providing voluntarily services to the CFK Center for the last 3 years. This is not my business, this is not my job. I've been going to CFK myself, and just one day I decided, listen, I can be in the masjid and listen to majalis and doing amals and be worried about that someone is going to walk in, or I can be outside and take the situation in my hand. So I chose the option number B. So for the last 3 years, we have been working with CFK's management for quite a while. Now, we actually provide security services on our Sunday schools, and these are all voluntarily based. Again, as I said, this is not our business. None of us are business. This is our people going to the mosque. We actually do it ourselves, basically. And we cover Muharram, we cover Ramzan, we cover Sunday school on a diligent basis, basically. So just wanted to share this with you guys. I will leave it up for any questions that you guys may have and go from there. Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you, Brother Bakr, for your presentation. Given the existing configuration of our center, would you be able to basically, prepare or guide the EC how to, because it looks like, God forbid, if someone all the way comes here, God, this is like a, open field here, right? Where are you going to escape from here?
Yeah, no, so thank you so much for the question. It's a very good question, and it's a very common question, especially when you have large premises. So again, I'll go back. So does it only apply for this? No, it applies to all the churches that you guys have seen. You have seen temples coming up, synagogues coming up. The majority have a square footage of, let's say, 30,000 square feet plus, basically. So yes, so what we can do, actually, we can give you an assessment that what are your weak points, what you need to be covering accordingly, and where you should have, proper vigilance accordingly. So we can provide you that by our experience with CFK. I actually work very closely with the Cobite Church in Whitewright, and I've seen their, I got trained by their plans. They are, mashallah, very, very well, articulated, and they are well prepared, basically. And if the EC is interested, I can take the EC or a few of the members to the Epic Mosque, and actually can show you that what Epic Mosque has done, basically, for their mosque. So the thing is this, you can always say that there are two mindsets, right? One mindset is, we don't need to do this, right? We don't like guns, we don't need to do this. The second mindset is, we see our political environment. We see what is going around in this nation, we see that what happens outside of US actually carries into the US, basically. So the second side of it, that you should be prepared, essentially. But we can definitely help you with actually a framework assessment that how you should be covering it. Any other question, guys?
Brother Rehan, I do have a question. It was not said on the PowerPoint or the video or the PowerPoint about what would be, or do you know the statistic of when it comes to a gunman, is there a statistic on what entrance that they would take? Majority of the time, is it the main entrance? Or you said that they're more studied or calculated and it's more cases that they will take side entrances or back entrances?
No, great question. So let me just tell you one thing, as I mentioned before, that what FBI and local Texas Rangers, especially in the state of Texas, what they have observed, that any active shooter will not randomly pick up a gun and go to a premise. What they have seen, the behavior when they do the investigation, they have gone to the homes and search the data and all, that they prep. So now that preparation can be done from many angles, basically, right? So they will study any premise that where they see are the weak points. However, what I would say, if the probability, from a probability perspective, is a high probability that someone is going to come from the front. Because you see the cars are parked, they see the major influx of people is coming from the front. And what the local enforcement agencies as well in the state of Texas says that a masjid or a temple or a mandir or a synagogue has full right to have their own security. They actually encourage it. We actually developed a relationship with Colony Police Department. They actually visit us every day of Muharram, by the way. We invite them over, but they they say that you need to have visible vigilance and deterrence up front. So you have to have someone up front whenever there is a mass gathering in the premise, basically. So usually it's the front side of it. I'm sorry, sir? Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So, yeah, so both models work. What I can share you by research that, again, temples, churches, synagogues, house of worship, most of them, they have both models working for them. So they have, hired guns for that matter. From a very sustainable perspective, they have picked individuals from their house of worship and who actually have showed up and do this, basically. Churches are kind of fortunate from our perspective because there's a lot of veterans. You don't have a lot of veterans in the Muslim community over here. Very few people or retired police officers that actually show up for the searches. They already have at least 20 years kind of an experience in there. They want to volunteer for that purpose. But both models are working. So what Apex started almost 10 years ago, they started in-house. They actually now relied so much on the in-house. They have invested a lot on the individuals that they have identified from the hire. So both models are basically working. Sir, I can't hear you.
Someone can go and get trained on, how to handle a gun.
Absolutely. So again, sorry, you finish your question first.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if you look at the accident that happened, a few weeks ago in Houston, there was some people inside the church.
Yes.
They stopped the lady.
That is correct. So again, coming back to the point that your threat could be from outside, your threat could be from inside. As far as the training is concerned, there is a lot of training available. Again, from a state of Texas perspective, one of the highly recommend that at least our team follows is the license to carry, access basically in the state of Texas. Now, again, as I said, Texas is a constitutional state carry, so you can buy a gun without a license, but having an LTC is a very good thing. It protects you legally in a lot of matters. It's called license to carry. Texas is an open carry state. Absolutely. You have to have a code up front. So that's why you see codes on the mosque, hospitals, other places of worship basically, or even office buildings. So you will see that because absolutely. So yeah, no, so that's a very valid question. You would not know, but you will know that they will probably be concealing a handgun instead of a high capacity rifle. You see what I'm saying? That's the only caveat there. So that's where the way it's working, the way we are working at CFK is number one, that we are at the door when people are entering. So we have a visible scan going on that you can always conceal carry, and I can actually stop you because the EC has asked me not to allow weapons in the center if they are not allowed. Do you see what I'm saying? So whether you have a code or not, your EC can appoint your security personnel to basically scan, and they will have to leave their weapon outside. So because in that situation, it's a business premise law in the state of Texas that actually restricts anyone going against the will of the executive committee. But yeah. Yes, please. I'm sorry. Yeah, great question, my friend. There are multiple ways to identify a shooter, right? You will see that person, first of all, not well dressed like me, You will see a lot of other things on him. You'll probably be wearing a bulletproof vest, basically. He will probably have cargo pants or some, military type pants, essentially. And then most probably he'll be holding something of this size, sort of like a 16-inch barrel AR-15, essentially. Because active shooters, mostly what they've seen, they don't carry handguns. Handguns is their last resort. and there are 30 rounds of ammunition in an AR-15 magazine. 30. So handgun can only carry 15, essentially. Any other question, guys? All right, thank you so much. Myself, Zishan will be here. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Thank you again so much, Brother Rehan Bakri, for coming to our center and presenting this information, this invaluable information. Please, for his health and safety, please provide another loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We would like to continue tonight's program with the recitation of mankabats from our local reciters. And so first I would like to invite Brother Hussain Jafri to come and recite a mankabat. Please welcome him with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali.
Assalamu alaikum, MOMIN. First of all, I'd like to thank Brother Bakr for his presentation. And while he was giving his presentation, I just could not miss the fact that the children of Gaza are facing active shooters for the last God knows how many years. What kind of evacuation plans do they have? How can they deny and how can they act? So may Allah protect everyone. May Allah protect everyone. But I will highly, highly request you that you please do not forget the oppressed people all around the world and pray for their safety as we prepare for our safety, inshallah. A few small things, inshallah, that there is a dua of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. It says that Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam is reported to have said that whenever I say these words, I do not care if all the humans and jinn rally to inflict harm on me. Make it a daily recitation of this dua. Okay? I don't have time, but if anyone is interested, my sister had compiled a book called shiasforchildren.com, or you can contact me and I'll share that video. Because the book of du'as that my father used to read, it's all compiled and it's accessed on the internet. One other thing is that if you know the event of Imam Muhammad Taqi Jawad alayhi salam, that Mutawakkil had sent his people to go and basically kill Imam Jawad, Imam Taqi Jawad, and they did. But next day, when Imam appeared, the king was basically shocked, and he said, what did you do? I thought that they really killed you up. So there is what is known as a Hirze Jawad. I'm sure that most of you know. Okay, Hirze Jawad is like a taviz, or you can also get a ring. And our brother Masoom, he actually has this Hirze Jawad. I highly, highly recommend that you consider for yourself and for your family also. And lastly, again, we go back to our fourth Imam, that there is what is known as a Dua-e-Afia. This is like protection from all kinds of calamities. Make it a daily, habit in your duas. This is like basically protecting us from all kinds of, inshallah, afia. Sorry for taking your time, and may Allah protect all our mu'mineen and mu'minat, and I will make it a short, inshallah. First of all, Eid Mubarak to all of you, and we, inshallah, will continue with just 1 second. Let me get to my qasida. Nare salawat. ہم انتظار فرج میں قرار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ہم انتظار فرج میں قرار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، زمیں پہ ہو جت پروردگار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ہم انتظار فرج میں قرار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ملا حسین کے صدقے میں رزق ہے ہم کو، ملا حسین کے صدقے میں رزق ہے ہم کو، علی سے پیار شہادت سے عشق ہے ہم کو، ہم اپنے دور کے میسم ہے دار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ہم اپنے دور کے میسم ہے دار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، بروز عرفہ کہیں حاجیوں کے مجمع میں، نہ تجھ سے ملنے کی صورت بنے جو کعبے میں، تو جا کے کرب و بلا بار بار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ہم انتظار فرج میں قرار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، فرج کی راہ میں زندان ہو چکے آباد، چلے ہیں شام تلک جن پہ طوق میں سجاد، ہمارے زخمی قدم اب بخار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ہم انتظار فرج میں قرار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، حیات جیت چے اور مر کے آجل جائیں، تیرے حضور بریدہ سروں کے بل جائیں، ہم اپنی موت کو لے لو نہار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ہم انتظار فرج میں قرار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ابھی بھی مسجد کوفہ کی سونی محرابیں، وہ انبیاء کے مصلی طویل راتوں میں، علی کے جیسا کوئی شب گزار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ہم انتظار فرج میں قرار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، کہاں کہاں گل نرگس
تیری تلاش میں ہم بھٹک رہے ہیں، ہمیں نور عسکری کی قسم خزاں رسیدہ چمن میں بہار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، ہم انتظار فرج میں قرار ڈھونڈتے ہیں، زمین پہ ہو جاتے پروردگار ڈھونڈتے ہیں۔ اللہم صلی اللہ۔
Thank you so much, Brother Hussain Jafri, for that beautiful recitation of the Manqabad. Please, for his health and safety, provide him another loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We would like to continue our program with another recitation from a local ashar for Manqabad. So please help me in welcoming Brother Wasim Rizvi to please recite a Manqabad. Please welcome him with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli.
بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ مومنین اور مومنات، آپ کو عید مبارک ہو، امام کی ولادت، میر تکلم، میر کا کلام۔ کعبے کو سجایا جائے گا جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے، کعبے کو سجایا جائے گا جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے، بدلے گا زمانے کا منظر جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے، کعبے کو سجایا جائے گا، بدلے گا زمانے کا منظر، تیاری جشن عید غدیر اس طرح کریں گے وہ آ کر، تیاری جشن عید غدیر اس طرح کریں گے وہ آ کر، جنت کے پرانے درزی سے ملبوس نئے سلوائیں گے، جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے، جو غاصب حق زہرا ہیں قبروں سے اٹھائے جائیں گے، قبروں سے اٹھائے جائیں گے، کعبے کو سجایا جائے گا، بدلے گا زمانے کا منظر، جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے، کعبے کو سجایا جائے گا، کچھ ابن آدم ایسے ہیں آدم کے عمل پر ہیں برہم، کچھ ابن آدم ایسے ہیں آدم کے عمل پر ہیں برہم، مسجد کے آگے ہوتے ہوئے جو دیکھ نہیں سکتے ماتم، جب ماتم ہوگا کعبے میں، جب ماتم ہوگا کعبے میں، وہ جل جل کر مر جائیں گے جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے، جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے۔ قائم کی عدالت میں ایک دن وہ پیش سبھی مجرم ہوں گے، ہر دور میں ممبر پر چڑھ کر جو بغض علی میں بولتے تھے، ہر دور میں ممبر پر چڑھ کر جو بغض علی میں بولتے تھے، ہے مجھ کو یقین مولا ان کو، ہے مجھ کو یقین مولا ان کی، میں سم سے زباں کھچوائیں گے جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے۔ جو غاصب حق زہرا ہیں، جو غاصب حق زہرا ہیں، قبروں سے اٹھائے جائیں گے جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے۔ ناصر عباس تقی ہادی سبط جعفر محسن نقوی، تہذیب و وجاہت آصف ہوں یا اون سماتم دار کوئی، جب ہوگی بقیہ میں مجلس، جب ہوگی بقیہ میں مجلس، یہ سارے ہمیں مل جائیں گے جب ہوگی بقیہ میں مجلس، یہ سارے ہمیں مل جائیں گے جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے۔ جو غاصب حق زہرا ہیں، قبروں سے اٹھائے جائیں گے جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے۔ دیکھے گا جہاں یوں اہل عزا کا رتبہ بڑھایا جائے گا، خاتون قیامت کا روضہ جب پھر سے بنایا جائے گا، چن چن کر ماتمی حلقوں سے، چن چن کر ماتمی حلقوں سے مزدور بلائے جائیں گے جب مولا مہندی، اللہم صلی علی محمد وآلہ، جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے، جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے، کیا ہوگا قیامت کا منظر، کفار کی دنیا لرزے گی، بالوں سے چھڑا کے خاک کو جب انہیں لے کے لحد سے مولا علی، پھر فوج میں اپنے بیٹے کی وہ خود شامل ہو جائیں گے، پھر فوج میں اپنے بیٹے کی وہ خود شامل ہو جائیں گے۔ جو غاصب حق زہرا ہیں، قبروں سے اٹھائے جائیں گے جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے۔ حیدر کی ولایت کا دشمن توحید کا دشمن ہوتا ہے، توحید کے وارث ہیں مہدی، تبھی یہ میرا دل کہتا ہے، دشمن ہیں ولایت کے جتنے وہ پہلے مارے جائیں گے جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے۔ کچھ بھی تو نہیں ہے تیاری، ہونٹوں پر زبانی دعویٰ ہے، آ جائیں اگر وہ ملنے تو کیا کوئی ایسا گوشہ ہے، جا کو تو مکانوں میں اپنے ہم ان کو کہاں ٹھہرائیں گے جب مولا مہندی آئیں گے۔ واللہ دھری رہ جائے گی ہر نسل امیہ کی سازش، کیا جند اللہ، کیا النصرہ، القاعدہ، کیا کیسی داعش، جب تیغ علی کی چمکے گی، جب تیغ علی کی چمکے گی، سب مٹی میں مل جائیں گے، جب مولا مہدی آئیں گے، یا جب مولا مہدی آئیں گے، جو غاصب حق زہرا ہیں قبروں سے اٹھائے جائیں گے، نزدیک تکلم ہے وہ گھڑی، دیکھیں گے جب یہ اہل نظر، کیا مفتی حافظ مولانا سب رشک کریں گے خود مجھ پر، ممبر پہ قصیدہ زہرا کا وہ پڑھنے مجھے بلوائیں گے، جب مولا مہدی آئیں گے، کعبے کو سجایا جائے گا، بدلے گا زمانے کا منظر، صلی علی محمد و آل محمد.
Thank you, Brother Wasim Rizvi, for that beautiful recitation of the Manqabat. Please, for his health and safety, recite another loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For those mu'mineen and mu'minat who are still outside or eating, please come join us for the next part of our program. I would like to bring our next speaker or Maulana up. I would like to announce after the speech today there will be a family Kahoot. So please be sure to stay for the entirety of the program for the family Kahoot. It will be lots of fun, and we would like to welcome everyone to attend and join. Coming forward next to our program, I would like to thank from the MOMIN Center community, EC, and all of us here that are streaming online, watching, that we were blessed to have Maulana Sayyid Abu Zar Wahidi come into town and bless us with his knowledge. And so we wish that he would come, inshallah, to our center again and bless us with his knowledge and wisdom. And with that, I would like to invite Maulana Sayyid Abu Zar Wahidi to please address the Mu'mineen. Please welcome him with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد للہ رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام علی سیدنا ونبینا وشفیع ذنوبنا وحبیب نفوسنا الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مغتمه الفداء. وأما بعد، قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم فإن تنازعتم في شيء فردوه إلى الله والرسول إن كنتم تؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صل على محمد وآل محمد. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate to our beloved Imam, our living Imam, our master, our wali, the Imam of our time, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Faraju Sharif, and all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, on this beautiful occasion, the day that we celebrate the birth anniversary of the fruit of the prophecy of all the prophets in the risala of our beloved prophet, in the imama of our beloved imams. بقية الله صاحب العصر والزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to include us amongst His followers, soldiers, helpers. This dua, ahad, is such a beautiful dua. There is one part in this dua is very fascinating. I mean, every single part of it is beautiful. And this part is a very beautiful dua. I'm sure we all want to be included in this beautiful dua. Allahumma ja'alli min ansarihi wa a'wanih wa dhabina anhu wal musari'ina ilayhi fi qada'i hawaijih. As soon as the Imam asks for something, as soon as he calls, hal min nasirin yansuruni, hal min mu'inin yu'inuni, we don't walk towards the place that we can fulfill the need of the Imam of our time. We run. وَالْمُسَارِعِينَ إِلَيْهِ فِي قَضَاءِ حَوَاجِ وَالْمُمْتَثِلِينَ لِأَوَامِرِهِ. No matter what He wants us to do, we do it. No question, no condition, no if and buts. We just accept it and do it. We just obey Him. Because He is the hujjah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. He is the Imam. His words are the words of Allah. His actions, every single word that comes from His mouth is a word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْمُمْتَثِلِينَ لِأَوَامِرِهِ وَالْمُحَامِينَ عَنْهُ وَالسَّابِقِينَ إِلَىٰ إِرَادَتِهِ. We support them no matter what. We're not going to be like the people who promised the other imams to support, and they let the king of the time, which I'm not going to give the title of Khalifa to those people. They were kings because their lifestyles were like kings. They let the kings to imprison their imams, to torture them, to insult them, to kill them, poison them. We're not going to be like that. Tonight I'm going to talk about this, inshallah. The Shia of Akhir al-Zaman. وَالسَّابِقِينَ إِلَىٰ إِرَادَتِهِ وَالْمُسْتَشْهَدِينَ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ. At the end of the day, we all die. But what death is the best type of death? Death with honor, right? What is the most honorable death? Is to become martyr, to sacrifice our lives for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Imam of our time, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajul sharif. So, Ali ibn al-Husayn alayhi salatu wa salam, Imam Zainul Abidin, had very few loyal Shia companions. There's a hadith, it says, after the Ashura, irtadda nas, people became murtaddin. Here it doesn't mean the fiqhi murtad. They didn't leave Islam, but what happens, they went back, we call it inqilab al-a'qab. They went back to their dark traditions. They forgot about the Imam of their time. They forgot about the Wali of their time. I talked about, I gave 1 or 2 examples last night, if you remember. So when it says 3, it doesn't mean 3. Obviously, there was a guy who didn't count 1, 2, probably 3, 4, 5 people. One of them was Abu Khalid Kabuli. He was from Kabul. Now, it's in Afghanistan. First, Abu Khalid believed that Muhammad ibn Hanafiya is the Imam after Abu Abdullah al-Masih. Then he managed to visit Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, and Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam called Abu Khalid with the name that only his close friends and family members used to call him while he was a child, and it was Kangar. So nobody knew that in Medina. Now he's visiting Imam Zain al-Abidin, and Imam Zain al-Abidin calls him with his name. So when he does more research, because he came to meet the Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam to research if he is the Imam, right? He was a scholar, Abu Khalid al-Kabuli. So finally, he basically came to this realization that actually Imam Zain al-Abidin is the Imam of my zaman, the Imam of my time. So he became one of the very